publication of research report. Naririnig po ako?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, sir, go ahead.
One of the reasons for carrying out research is to add to the existing body of knowledge. Therefore, when conducting research, you need to document your process and findings in a research report. With a research report, it's easy to outline the findings of your systematic investigation and any gaps needing for inquiry. Knowing how to create a detailed research report will prove useful when you need to conduct research. So, what is a research report? A research report is a well-crafted document that outlines the process, data, and findings of a systematic investigation. It is an important document that serves as a first-hand account of the research process, and it is typically considered an objective and accurate source of information. In many ways, a research report can be considered as a summary of the research process that clearly highlights finding, recommendation, and other important details. Reading a well-written research report should provide you with all the information you need about the core areas of the research process. So how do you recognize a research report when you see one? Here are some of the basic features that define a research report. First is, it's a detailed presentation of research process and findings and usually includes tables and graphs. It is written in a formal language. A research report is usually written in the third person, and it is informative and based on the person verifiable information, and is usually structured with headings, sections, and bullet points. It always includes recommendation for future actions. So there are types of research report. The research report is classified based on two things: nature of research and target audience. So first is nature of research. Under qualitative research report, this is a type of report written for qualitative research. It outlines the methods, process, and findings of a qualitative method of systematic investigation. In educational research, a qualitative research report provides an opportunity for one to apply his or her knowledge and develop skill in planning and executing qualitative research project. So under qualitative research report is usually descriptive in nature. Hence, in addition to presenting details of the research process, you must also create a descriptive narrative of the information. Next is quantitative research report. Quantitative research report is a type of research report that is written for quantitative research. Quantitative research is a type of systematic investigation that pays attention to numerical or statistical values in a bid to find answer to research question. So under quantitative research report, in this type of research report, that researcher present qualitative data to support the research process and findings. Unlike qualitative research report is mainly descriptive. Quantitative research report works with numbers that is numerical in nature. Next is based on target audience. Also, a research report can be said to be technical or popular based on the target audience. If you are dealing with general audience, you will need to present a popular research report. And if you are dealing with a specialized audience, you will submit sample mga technical report. Under ng technical research report, a technical research report is a detailed document that you present after carrying out in the industry-based research. This report is highly specialized because it provides information for a technical audience, that is individuals with above average knowledge in the field of study. So under technical research report, the researcher is expected to provide specific information about the research process, including statistical analysis and sampling methods. Also, the use of language is highly specialized and filled with jargons. Example of technical research report include legal and sample mga medical research report. Next is popular research report. Popular research report is one for a general audience, that is for individual who do not necessarily have any knowledge in the field of study. A popular research report aims to make information accessible to everyone. Under popular research report, it is a written and very simple language, which make it easy to understand the findings and recommendation. Example of popular research report are information contained in newspaper and magazines. Next is importance of a research report. First is knowledge transfer. As I mentioned, one of the reasons for carrying out research is to contribute to the existing body of knowledge, and this is made possible. With the research report. Research report serve as a means to effectively communicate the findings of a systematic investigation to all and industry. Next is identification of knowledge gap. With the research report, you will able to identify knowledge gap for further inquiry. A research report show that has been done while hinting at other areas needed systematic investigation. In market research, a research report will help you understand the market needs and peculiarities at a glance. Research report allow you to present information in a precise and concise manner, and it is a time efficient and practical, because in a research report you do not have to spend time detailing the findings of your research work in person. You can easily send out the report via email and have stockholder look at it. Next is guide to writing a research report. A lot of details goes into writing a research report, and getting familiar with the different requirements will help you create the ideal research report. A research report is usually broken down into multiple sections, will allow for a concise presentation of information. So next, structure and example of a research report. First is title. This is the title of your systematic investigation. Your title should be concise and point to aims, objectives, and findings for a research report. Next is table of content. This is like a compass that makes it easier for readers to navigate the research report. And next is abstract. An abstract is an overview that highlight all important aspects of the research, including the research method, data collection process, and research findings. Think of an abstract as a summary of your research report that presents pertinent information in a concise manner. In an abstract is always brief, typically 100 to 150 words, and goes straight to the point. The focus of your research abstract should be parang 5 WSN 1H format. What, where, why, when, who, and how. Then next is introduction. Here the researcher highlight the aim and objectives of the systematic investigation, as well as the problem which the systematic investigation set out to solve. When writing the report introduction is also essential to indicate whether the purposes of the research were achieved or will require more work. In the introduction section, the researcher specify the research problem and also outlines the significance of the systematic investigation. Also, the researcher is expected to outline any jargons and terminology that are contained in the research. Next is literature review. Literature review is a written survey of existing knowledge in the field of study. In other words, it is a section where you provide an overview and analysis of different research works that are relevant to your systematic investigation. In literature review, it is highlights existing research knowledge and areas needed further investigation, which your research has sought to fill at this stage. You can also hint at your research hypothesis and its possible implication for the existing body of knowledge in your field of study. Next is an account of investigation. This is detailed account of the research process, including methodology, sample, and research subject. Here you are expected to provide information on the research process, including the data collection and analysis procedures. In an account investigation, in a qualitative research report, you need to provide information, surveys, questionnaires, and other quantitative data collection method used in your research. In qualitative research report, you are expected to describe the qualitative data collection method used in your research, including interviews and focus groups. Next is findings. In this section, you are expected to present the result of the systematic investigation. And next is discussion. This is further explanation the findings of the research. Earlier outlined, here you are expected to present a justification for each outcomes and show whether the results are in line with your hypothesis or if other research studies have come up with a similar result. Next is yung conclusion. Conclusion, this is a summary of all the information in the report. Is also outlines the significance of the entire study. Then last is yung references and appendices. This section contains a list of all the primary and secondary research sources. Next is tips for understanding, tips for writing a research report. First is define the context for the report. As is obtainable when writing an essay, defining the context of your research report will help you create a detailed yet concise document. This is why you need to create an outline before writing so that you do not miss out on anything. Next is define your audience. Writing with your audience in mind is essential as it determines the tone of the report. If you're writing for a general audience, you would want to present the information in a simple and relatable manner. For a specialized audience, you need to make use of a technical and field-specific terms. Another tips is include significant findings. The idea of a research report is to present some sort of abridged version of your investigation. In your report, you should exclude irrelevant information while highlighting only important data and findings. Next is include illustration. Include illustration. Your research report should include illustration and other visual representation of your data like graphs, pie charts, and relevant image lend to additional credibility to your systematic investigation. Ay bumalik sa slide. Okay. Another tips is choose the right title. A good research report title is brief, precise, and contains keywords from your research. It should provide a clear idea of your systematic investigation so that the readers can grasp the entire focus of your research from the title. And last is proofread the report. Before publishing the document, ensure that you give it a second look to authenticate the information. If you can, get someone else to go through the report. And you can also run it through proofreading and editing software. Next is how to gather research data for your report. Uh, so first is understand the problem. So in this case, every research aims at solving a specific problem or set of problems, and this should be at the back of your mind when writing your research report. Understanding the problem will help you filter the information you have and include only important data in your report. And next is know what your report seeks to achieve. So this is somewhat similar to the point above, because in some way, the aim of research report is intertwined with the objectives of your systematic investigation. Identifying the primary purpose of writing a research report will help you identify and present the required information accordingly. Then next is identify your audience. Knowing your target audience plays a crucial role in data collection for a research report. If your research report is specifically for an organization, you would want to present industry specific information or show how the research findings are relevant to the work that the company does. Next is create surveys and questionnaires. A survey is a research method that is used to gather data from a specific group of people through the set of questions. It can be either quantitative or qualitative. A survey is usually made up of structured questions, and it can be administered. It can be administered online or offline. However, an online survey is a more effective method of research data collection because it helps you save time and gather data with ease. And last is conclusion. So always remember that research report is just as important as the actual systematic investigation because it plays a vital role in communicating research findings to everyone else. This is why you must take care to create concise documents summarizing the process of your conducting any research. When writing your report, you should always have the audience at the back of your mind. At this will set the tone for the document. So that's it po. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir, for your presentation. No? So again, a research paper is a piece of academic writing that provides analysis, interpretation, and argument based on the depth independent research. No? So research papers are similar to academic essays, no, but they are usually longer and more detailed assignments, no, designed to assess not only your writing skills but also your skills in scholarly research. So writing a research paper requires you to demonstrate a strong knowledge on your topic, engage with a variety of sources, and make an original contribution to the debate. So of course, what we're going to consider, of course, is that understand the assignment, no, choose a research paper topic, conduct preliminary research, no, develop a thesis statement, create a research paper outline, write a first draft of the research paper, write the introduction, write a compelling body of text, write the conclusion, and the second draft, of course, the revision process, research paper checklist, and the slides, no, for presentation. So completing a research paper successfully means accomplishing the specific task set out for you. So before you start, make sure you thoroughly understanding the assignment task sheet. No? Read it carefully, looking for anything confusing you might need to clarify with your professor. Identify the assignment goal, deadline, length specification, formatting, and submission method. Make a bulleted list of the key points. No? Then go back and cross completed items off as you're writing. You carefully consider time frame and word limit. Be realistic and plan enough time to research, write, and edit. No? So in choosing a research paper topic, there are many ways to generate an idea for a research paper. From brainstorming with pen and paper to talking it through with a fellow student or with your professor. No? Kung may idea kayo, try to share with your classmate, with your friends, and so on. No? You can try free writing, which involves taking a broad topic and writing continuously for 2 or 3 minutes to identify absolutely anything relevant that could be interesting. You can also gain inspiration from other research. No? So the discussion or recommendation sections of research papers often include ideas for other specific topics that require further examination. Ako actually, when I was during my master's degree program, no, what I'm looking at is yung recommendations sa mga related studies. No? Once you have a broad subject area, narrow it down to choose a topic that interests you. No, meets the criteria of your assignment and is possible to research. Aim for ideas that are both original and specific. No? A paper on the experience of course, is very important. No, sabi ko nga kanina. Conduct preliminary research. So, note any discussions that seems important to the topic and try to find out an issue that you can focus your paper around. Use a variety of sources, including journals, books, and reliable websites to ensure you do not miss anything glaring. No? Do not only verify the ideas you have in mind, but look for sources that contradict your point of view. Natin? Dapat we need to answer the questions. Is there anything people seem to overlook the sources you research? Are there any heated debates you can address? Do you have a unique take on your topic? And have there been some recent developments that build on the extant research? No? So in this stage, you might find it helpful to formulate some research question to help guide you. No? Now, another is develop a thesis statement. No? A thesis statement is a statement of your central argument. No, it establishes the purpose and position of your paper. If you started with a research question, the thesis statement should answer it. It should also show what evidence and reasoning you'll use to support that answer. So the thesis statement should be concise, contentious, and coherent. That means it should briefly summarize your argument in a sentence or two. Make a claim that requires further evidence or analysis, and make a coherent point that relates to every part of the paper. You probably revise and refine the thesis statement as you do more research, but it can serve as a guide throughout the writing process. So every paragraph should aim to support and develop this central claim. No? Create a research paper outline. No? A research paper outline is essentially a list of the key topics, arguments, and evidences you want to include. Divided into sections with headings so that you know roughly what the paper will look like before you start writing. A structured outline can help make the writing process much more efficient. So it's worth dedicating some time to create one. That's why during our first meeting, no, I presented already the content, no, and the thesis writing guidelines. No, it's too easy for us to do that now if we have already a structured outline. No, so a structured outline can help make the writing process much more efficient. So it's worth dedicating some time to create one, as I mentioned. Write a first draft of the research paper. Now, your first draft won't be perfect. Alam natin yan. And you can polish later on. So your priorities at this stage are as follows. No? Ano yung priorities natin? Maintaining forward momentum. Right now, perfect later. Okay? Paying attention to clear organization and logical ordering of paragraphs and sentences, which will help when you come to the second draft. Expressing your ideas as clearly as possible. So you know what you were trying to say when you come back to the text, no? So you do not need to start by writing the introduction. Begin where it feels most natural for you. Some prefer to finish the more difficult section first, while others choose to start with the easiest part. If you created an online, use it as a map while you work. No? Do not delete large sections of text. If you begin to dislike something you have written or find it doesn't quite fit, move it to a different document, but don't lose it completely. You never